Now, I don't know why it becomes so much impossible for people to achieve their goals whenever they set them. You find that people set very good goals at the beginning, but at the end, where they are supposed to achieve them, it becomes very hard to achieve those particular goals. Probably these people, or they do not consider all aspects of setting goals or coming up with goals. For example, one of the goals people set and never achieve them, or out of 100%, only 20% can be able to achieve those particular goals, are financial goals. Because there are some goals that people are going to set and actually achieve them. But when it comes to financial goals, this is where you draw the line, because not all people can be able to achieve these goals. Why is that so? Because the reason why people are not going to achieve those particular goals, especially financial goals, is because of the aspects of setting up goals that you did not consider all of them. For example, just to give you a quick example before I go I go deeper to setting up a goal and what you're supposed to consider. Assuming that right now we are in March 2025, and then you've told yourself that you want to set a goal and you want to come up with a business. You want to come up with a business, all right? You want to come up with a business in January 2026. The business is going to cost you 500K. You want to come up with a business in the year 2026. The business is going to cost you 500,000. Now, this goal is a very good goal. It's a very good goal. Of course, starting a business is something good. It's a good goal. Of course, you are thinking, because you have to work towards it. But again, what if you get to the year 2026 January, and instead of now having 500K, you only have 50,000? Now, you had a very good goal, but there is something you missed. There is something you missed when you are setting this particular goal. You had a very good goal, but there is something you missed when you are setting this particular goal, because you wanted your business to be 500K, that is going to cost you 500K, but in January 2026 you only have 50,000. You have only been able to save 50,000. And then when you don't reach to this point of saving 500K, you become frustrated, you give up with the goal, you become depressed or stressed because you have not been able to achieve this particular goal. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, today, this particular video, we want to focus on how to come up with a goal, how to come up with a goal that can be able to achieve, or can be able to meet your desires. All right, and I'm going to discuss with you the aspects, or those things that you are supposed to consider when you are coming up with a goal. Now, the reason why you are going to set a goal and you are not going to be able, or you're not going to achieve that particular goal at the desired time, number one, it's because you did not define your goal in terms of specifics. Number one, in terms of specifics. You see, when you decide to come up with a goal, when you decide to come up with a goal, you need to be specific of what you are saying. For example, I want to start a business. Okay, we have a lot of businesses. There is a cereal business, there is a mutumba, there is a milk business. Which kind of a business that you want to start? Now, before I even go to businesses, for example, when someone say, I want to buy a phone, I want to buy a phone. The statement, I want to buy a phone, is a general statement. Now, let's get to the specifics of what you want to buy. So you want to buy a phone. You want to buy a phone. This one is general, but let's get to the specific. Now, I want to buy a phone. I want a Samsung phone, a Samsung phone. So I want a phone that has an internal storage of 256 GB. Now you have starting being now specific of what you want. You know exactly what you want. You want a Samsung phone. You want a phone that has storage of 256 GB. Okay. You want a phone that has a camera, or camera megapixels of 50 megapixels, right? So you see, you are getting the specifics of what you want. You know exactly what you are defining. You are defining what you want. Because if you come and tell me, John, I need a phone, I just go to the market and buy any phone. I can buy Katululu and bring it to you, because even Katululu is a phone. But the moment you define exactly what you want, that is what you work for. If you wanted a Samsung phone that has some specifics like this phone is probably going to cost you around 50K. But if you just say a phone, someone is going to give you 1,500 and tell you, now go and buy a phone. You see, you just said that you want a phone. That's why defining a goal and coming up with the specifics of a goal is very important, because the reason why, one advantage of coming with the specifics of a goal, it's because you will know exactly what you are going to work for. If you want to start a business that is going to cost you this much, you know exactly what you are working for. For example, here, just to give you a scenario, for example, a scenario of the specifics, how you can be specific with what you want. For example, you can say, in January 2026, I want to start a business. I want to start a business, all right? In January 2026, I want to start a business. Now, this business is going to cost me 200,000 Kenya shillings. So, cost is equals to 200,000 Kenya shillings, all right? So in January 2026, right now tuko May. Today is May. Date is it date 8 or date 7? Date 8. So today is May, date 8. No, not May, March. So in January 2026, I want to start a business, or probably in March 2026. Wacha tuandike March kwa sababu leo tuko March, March 2026, I want to start a business. It's going to cost me 200,000 Kenya shillings. Now, this is a goal that you have set, but you have not defined the specific of the business that you want to. For example, you can say, I want to start a water refilling station. So, a business is going to be a water refill station, all right? Now, you can even go deeper and state the location of where you want to start that particular business. So location, you can say, I want to start this business in Kitengela, in Kitengela, all right? In Kitengela, kwenye kuna vumbi sana. So I want to start this business of water refill station in Kitengela. The business is going to cost me 200,000. You see how now you are maneuvering through the dynamics of coming up with a goal of setting a business in March 2026. Now, when you have this particular business, you have this particular setup, now you can be able to employ the strategies in which you can be able to use so that you can achieve this particular goal. Now, here, the biggest challenge here is to come up with 200,000. All right. The biggest challenge here is to come up with 200,000. Now, for example, if someone is having a job, or a salary, this person is very sure he or she can be able to put aside some money to achieve to this particular goal. All right. For example, if you are in March and you want to start the business in March, those are 12 months. So you can say, if I need 200,000, then I can divide this one by 12 and get what? I can divide this one by 12 and get this 200,000 divided by 12. So per month, I can be able to save 16,000 or 17,000. So per month, I can be able to save 17K. But again, now you see how you are now coming up with strategies in which you can be able to achieve this particular goal. But if there is someone who did not have a business, or doesn't have a job, or is a fresh graduate who doesn't have any source of income, coming with this kind of a goal, it becomes very hard. This goal is close to unachievable. It cannot be achieved because, first of all, the goal that you're supposed to be having is looking for a job or looking for something that you can be able to do so that you can have a source of income. But someone who is already in business, or someone who is in salary, you can set this particular goal and say, if I'm earning this amount of money, I can be able to set aside 17,000 so that at the end of the year, I can be having 200,000, and that 200,000, I'll be able to start a business, and that one is a water refill station, and I'm going to look for a place in Kitengela because the place is very hot and people might have the tendency of people consuming water. You see? Now, specifics, you right? So whenever you set a goal, when you come up with a goal, make sure that your goal is specific. Define what you want so that you can know what you are working for. All right. So you may not end up saving a lot of money, but you just need 200,000. Not unless you have redefined your goal to make sure that you have covered whatever you want or what you are working for. All right. Good. I like this. Now that was about specific. That was about coming up with a specific goal. The second one is a goal that is measurable. All right, a goal that is measurable. Now, when you come up with a goal, make sure that you can quantify. The word is quantify, you know? Yeah, make sure that you can quantify. When you come up with a goal, make sure it's a goal that can be measured, all right? For example, when it's achieved, you can say, now I have moved from point A to point B. And just make sure that it can be measured in terms of numbers. For example, if your goal is just like the example I've given you on specifics, if your goal is to save, if your goal is to save 200K, then make sure you see your goal is to save 200K. You're already measuring, you're already quantifying. There is an amount that you can say 200,000. Then let's say tuko March sai. March uko ndo ume contribute the first 17K. Now by the time tunafika December, you find yourself you already have in deck, you find yourself you already have around 78,000 or something like that, right? Now you see you have moved from 17K to 78K, and that's why when you say a measurable or a quantifiable goal is where you can say I have been able to save 78,000 by December 2025, or whenever you are setting, or when you are setting that particular goal, you can say I want to have saved 200,000 by March 2026 so that I can start a business. You see, now it's something that you can be able to measure. And of course, when you can be able to measure or quantify something, that's when you can be able to divide it into small units. When you divide into small units, you know what you're supposed to do on a daily basis or on a monthly basis so that you can be able to achieve that particular goal. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure that the goal you set is measurable or can be quantifiable in terms of numbers so that you can have an easy time when you want to achieve that particular goal. Now, I hope you're getting something. Number 3, all right? Number 3 is achievable goal. Unajua kuna watu when you set a goal, you are not setting a goal that you can be able to achieve. For example, let me talk to campus students. You know, campus students, whenever you are coming, when you're graduating, we normally tend to set big goals, all right? You know, when I graduate, now I have my certificate, I want to become the finance manager. You know, I want to become the finance manager. I want to get a job that is going to pay me 150,000. Who told you? Who told you is that possible? Not unless you be having a very serious connection that you are going to get a job that can be able to pay you 250,000 as a fresh graduate. Because the tendency I know is where graduates come out of school. First of all, you get into internship so that you can start the learning process. And through the process of learning, you get experience. And that experience is going to make you go into levels, because there is nowhere you can start there and you never started there. No. Even when you are born, you started with kutembea na miguu na whatever, right? So you started with breastfeeding, and then you are fed something else that is more heavier than, you see, slowly you always have to start somewhere. So graduates are going to be like, you know, when I finish school, I have this certificate and I want to get a job that is going to pay me 250,000. And that's why you find a lot of graduates desperate and stressed, because whatever the goal they had set, you know, they are going to come out of schools and then they are going to struggle getting papers, and they move from point A to point B, from company A to company B, looking for jobs. And when they are not getting those particular jobs, they feel frustrated. And that is the biggest problem that we are having right now, because even people in campus are learning for the purpose of looking for jobs, not creating their own jobs. You see, now that is what we call an achievable goals. So whenever you set a goal, make sure that that goal is something that you can be able to achieve. It's something that you can be able to work for it and actually achieve it. So for example, you can say, now, for example, someone says that I want to start going for gym. I want to start going for gym, and in the next 3 days, I will have build muscles. I look like this, you know, that one it's not achievable. Now, someone else will say, I want to start a business. I start a barber shop, and in 3 days or in 1 week, people are lining up in my barber shop so that I can offer them service. That one is not going to happen. So you need to come up with achievable goals. When you have a goal and you have started something of your own, or maybe a business, you need to give yourself what you call time to achieve what you need. So it has to be achievable. For example, you can say, I need to start doing exercise. For example, I can dedicate 30 minutes per day to run or walk. That one is an achievable goal. Now, I want to start saving 10,000 per month for 2 years so that I can accumulate that amount and start a business. That one is an achievable goal. You see? So you need to come up with goals that you can be able to achieve. Now, for campus students, you can say, after graduation, I want to engage myself so that I can look for internship that is going to enable me get some experience so that I can start climbing and learning. That one is an achievable goal. Someone else will say, I want to start reading books, and in each and every month, I want to make sure that I have read 1 book, another month 1 book, and so on and so on. That one is an achievable goal. So whenever you come up with goals, make sure that it is a goal that you can be able to achieve, especially as far as finances are concerned. All right, that is about achievable. Number 4, we are talking about realistic goals. Realistic. You know, realistic and achievable is almost the same. Something that is realistic, something that can be achievable. You know, realistic is when, you know, there is this aspect of you want to set a goal that you cannot be able to achieve. It's not even, ushaitapatana na mtu anakuambia, is that case even realistic? It's not even making sense, you know. Like someone is going to tell you, I want to start a business, and in the next 1 month, I want to have made millions of money out of that particular business. That one is not realistic. It's not making sense. The word is not making sense. You know, realistic. It's not making. You have to be realistic in what you do. It's something that you can be able to quantify, to measure, like it's moving from point A to point B. So whenever you set a goal, it has to be a realistic goal. All right. So don't exaggerate on things when you set them, or maybe when you want to do something, you are exaggerating a lot, and in real sense, it's not something that you can be able to do. For example, someone will say, a fresh graduate is going to say, I want to be a millionaire in 1 year. No, you know, you are not going to create millions in 1 year, not unless you want to rob a bank. That one is not going to be possible. It's not realistic. So you have to come up with the realistic goals, things that you can achieve with time that you have set, all right? So you have to be very realistic when you're coming up with goals so that you may not end up frustrated, stressed, and depressed because of the kind of goals that you're coming up with. They are not adding up with time, value of money, and so on and so on. So make sure that you are realistic and achievable. They are almost the same. Now, the final thing that you need to capture when coming up with a goal is what we call time basis. Time basis. Now, time basis is very important. Whenever you come up with a goal, ladies and gentlemen, and this one I'm going to insist on this, is giving yourself time. You know, the reason why people have reached up to a certain point, imagine you started something very nice. But you reached to a certain point, you gave up. You know why you gave up? Because you became impatient. And becoming impatient is the aspect of time. You never give yourself time. Because there is this person who started a business and expected this business to peak in the first few months, and actually be having clients running up and down into his or her business and dropping money, and you know, something like that. And when things goes against these clients, these are business person's expectations, you become frustrated, you close up the business and you move to the next life, and that is the end of everything. You know, when you start up something, you need to give it some time. If it's a business, just give it. Businesses take time to grow. Now, if you see someone's business is doing very well, go and sit down with them. If there are people who are realistic to share information, they will tell you how long it has taken them to build their businesses. It has taken time to build their business. That is why you can see even customers know their business. If you see a supermarket that people the flow of people is the flow of people in getting in and getting out, it's very high. It's something that is known. Look at the case of Naivas and so, and all those businesses that you know, those are known brands. If a brand was to be established right now, the owner of the brand will have to do a lot of marketing so that people can know actually this particular thing exists. Now, if you come up with your own new business, you will have to do a lot of marketing so that people can become aware of the products that you are selling or the services that you are offering or the brand name and so on and so on. So when people start getting familiar with what you are doing, now you'll start realizing that your business is growing in terms of clients. You get more clients, inquiries, and so on and so on. And then your products start moving from one place to the other and so on. And so whenever you start something, be it a product production or service offering, give it time and be consistent. Here is where we normally talk about consistency. If you want again something to work with the time basis, you need to be consistent. Si ati leo unaanza biashara kidogo kidogo, unaona baba shop ni nice, unafunga unaenda ingine, kidogo kidogo una realize hii nayo haishiki, and then you start a hotel, unasema ai clients hawakuji, nimemwaga food mara mbili, and then you close the hotel, then you get to another one. Hey my friend, you will waste a lot of money doing that, and at the end of it all you will have lost a lot of money, and then you end up with nothing. So make sure you give yourself time. Be a patient person. In this world of businesses, you have to be a very patient person. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. If you can look at this, I was just stating the abbreviations here. If you just look here, you know, someone is very smart enough to realize what I was talking about. So what I was talking about, just to summarize everything for what I have talked in the last 20 minutes, I was just saying you come up with what we call a smart. Whenever you come up with a goal, make sure you come up with a smart goal. All right, a smart goal. Whenever you come up with a goal, make sure you come up with smart goals. All right. So if you want to create goals, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that your goals are going to be smart goals. All right. And a smart goal is going to be a specific goal. Make sure you are specific in terms of your measuring. Make sure it's a measurable or quantifiable in terms of numbers. It can be achievable. It's not something that you cannot be able to achieve. It's a realistic goals. Do not say that you want to go to the forest and then you baby lion, or I don't know. You know, you set realistic goals, bana. You know, time basis. Make sure you give yourself time when you set these particular goals. All right, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I have been able to help someone with that information. Remember, this is Sajon Mweri with Xfinop Accountancy and Insurance Consultants. This is what we do. Help people, help each other grow financially, even with the rest of information, so that you can have a very good life and defeat poverty. That is the aim. That is the main goal. But the ultimate goal is actually becoming a financially free person. Remember, financial freedom is a goal, but it's specific. Financial freedom, measurable. I want to have this kind of amount of money. Achievable, it's achievable. Financial freedom is achievable. Realistic, of course, is a realistic goal. Time basis. Now, financial freedom takes time. So relax, move. You just need to be specific, strategic in what you do, systematic, and so on and so on. Then financial freedom is going to locate you where you are. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was my time with this particular video. If you find it interesting, you can watch it up to the end, and make sure you share it to your colleagues so that they can have the same information that you feel it's helpful to you. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. That was my time. See you in my next